Good morning, people. Good morning. Yes, this is Spirit Journey. Today is good old Monday morning, January 11, 2021, and the time is now 6:55 a.m. in the morning. Yes, it's a little later than usual, this live stream, but I hope all is well with you. Yes, I been up now. Maybe 45 minutes since I got out of bed to get my day started a little bit. Yeah, I'm still officially still in bed, but I just had to fix up some things outside. Um, yeah, hope all is well. Yes, good morning. Good morning, my viewers. Good morning. Hope all is well. And yes, I got my tea brewing. It's rose hips tea with a little bit of cranberry juice powder. Yeah, I won't get the cranberry juice powder anymore. It doesn't dissolve well. You would think that it would melt, but no, I don't like how it comes out. But yeah, I have it. These um, herbals, um, botanicals, they help boost your immune system. And that's what it's all about these days, to boost up naturally your immune system during this cold flu season. Yes. So, yes, I will talk about three different things. Yes, you're all invited to say hello in the chat room. And if you like to, please give me a thumbs up as you enter into the chat room and watch the video. Yes, participation is greatly encouraged. So I thank you in advance. Yes, yes. So you're looking outside my window, the beautiful, beautiful um, skyline, Manhattan skyline, and yes, sunrise today will be at 7:18 a.m. So right now it is dawn, and I love the feel of the dawn. Oh, it's such a powerful, peaceful moment, especially when you're outside. But I'm inside here with my crew. Yes, my little baby girls, my little furry friends are with me. Let me just show you real quick. Them in bed with me. That's Lily. And Lilac's over there in the corner. Yeah. And my little boy is down below the bed. All of us are well. So, yeah, this is a beautiful time in life. I stayed in yesterday. Uh, yeah, um, it seemed cold. Like when I wake up, and if it's really, it's something you could feel the cold in the room. And actually, it was warmer, slightly warmer yesterday than the day before yesterday. Yesterday was in the low 30s, but above freezing. Yeah, maybe it was like 34 degrees, so it's just above freezing. And the day before was below freezing, was in the 20s. And it felt the same, the temperature in the room was cold. So when I saw it was below freezing the day before yesterday, I said, we're staying in. Because my little baby girls and boy, they have their hair on them, but below freezing is below freezing. So we stayed in yesterday and the day before yesterday. Um, today in New York City will be in the, right now I think they said it's about 32 degrees. Um, by noontime it'll be a little warmer. So who knows whether I'll go out or not. Yeah, there's my little boy walking towards the bed. So you might see him jump on board. So, yes, there's three things I want to talk about this morning. Um, I wrote three things in the title page. Um, One about the visions that I saw this morning. Many of you who've been following me for the past year, um, I do an exercise in the morning upon awakening from sleep or dreaming. I keep my eyes closed, and then I just relax, and oftentimes visions appears. Uh, Another thing I'll be talking about is the diet that I'm on, and also regarding Trump uh, impeachment. So, yeah, so today what I saw, um, again, the visions seem to be different again. The past 2 weeks or so, and the reason why I'm also mentioning about the diet that I'm on, um, I think, I'm just speculating, but I think it might be influencing what I see. Yes, I basically eat a one meal a day diet. I eat my meal in the late afternoon, between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, I, I'll have starches like rice and beans with my curry flavoring. I love curry and spicy food. And I'll have my nuts, dry fruit also. Uh, and during the morning, I usually have that elixir with the vitamins, but today I don't have the vitamins in here. I'm going to switch the taking my vitamin brew with my meal in the evening. Uh, the reason why I'm doing that, the person who I'm following part of the protocols for the one meal a day diet, um, I thought he had the his vitamin mix in the morning on an empty stomach. But no, a later video that I found of his said he has it with his meal. So I'll have it with the meal. Um, but either way, I think like I've been following this protocol uh, about 2 weeks now, and I noticed since that time what I see, how I see it, just seems different divisions. So what I saw today, um, I again, me and my walls, I saw like a pillar. Um, it was ver- it was a like a square in dimensions and very tall, and it was made out of brick, or at least the facing was brick, and it was painted. One of those, like in some buildings, they just paint over the old paint job, and so it's thick with layers of paint, a high gloss paint. And as it appeared in my view, again, my eyes are closed. It started to seem clearer and clearer, and I saw a figure of a Cupid. The little babies with it could have had wings. I'm not sure, but to me it looked like a Cupid, 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 and it was a white one. I think it was white in color, or could have been the same color. Oh, okay. It it could have been a white one, and the paint on the pillar, the stone face. I mean, the brick facing it was also a very pale color. And saw it for a few seconds. And then I saw, yeah, I saw something else. Um, it looked like a body of water, a waterfront. And I'm seeing um, in front of my view a man sitting down at like the edge of the water. Was made out of cement. And I think they had a small child in front of them. And yeah, my little boy, you gotta look at him. You see him? Look at that little lavender. You wanna get him? You can jump up. Jump. You saw him? Let me get him. Okay, you bad boy. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's stop it. Let's stop it. Sorry. You heard that? Yeah, see, my little girl was resting over there, and the little boy wanted to come on board, and they do compete. They get along, but they do compete, and it's early in the morning, and he wanting to jump on the bed is interfering with her rest. Yeah, they adults can get grumpy when you mess with their space when they're trying to rest. They don't like that. Yeah, they're good. They're good. So either way, yeah. What seemed different? It was very. It was hazy. It was in color. Um, it was it was dark. The cement-looking thing that he's sitting upon. Like the water is right below his feet, and he's sitting on the edge, and there's a body of water. It looked very industrial. The look, but it looked like a small person in front of him. Yeah. Oh, look at her. Looked like a small person. Um, and it was towards the lower right quadrant of my vision. Yeah, if that makes any sense, like even though, I got two eyes, but it seems like everything you see is not like straight ahead in your vision. It could be what you see at a particular location. Imagine your eyelids are is a screen, but it's not on the whole screen. It might be just on a portion of the screen, what you see. So my eyes are straining to move to the bottom right quadrant of my view to see it. It was just for a few seconds. It was daytime, outdoors. Uh, I couldn't, I did not see what the facility was, but it just something, some, body of water, like um, that had some type of, you know, structure, that was made around the water, and you could sit on the edge. But it looked very industrial to me, very dark. The water seemed very dark. But the man, Caucasian, wearing regular um, street clothes, very casual, um, because he didn't have a coat on or anything. So the weather had to be warm where he was. Because right now in New York City it's cold. We do have things that looks kind of similar. We do live near water. You know, uh, yeah. So that's what I saw, and I remember there was going to be something else. Again, my eye is straining to see on the bottom right quadrant, and then it was a different view now. Now I don't see the man and the small child. The child could have been maybe 8 years old or something like that, um, but some other room, and I'm straining to see it. But that was very very hazy. I couldn't, and I think there was a war. Oh, okay. I know there was a light. I saw some type of light shining through. Um, it looked like it was indoors somewhere. Um, Other than the little light shining, the room seemed very dark. At least the surroundings seemed very dark. And yeah, what's different about this vision now? I was able to like, in the physical. I moved my head. I said, you know something? This seems very different. Let me see if I move my head, will I be able to see more of the room? And it seemed like I was able to see the rest of the room because when I moved my head, I what I saw with my closed eyes seemed very, very different. It was very hazy. So this is a good sign, people. This might mean that maybe my skills or my ability to see more of the vision is now taking place because as I said before in the past, I could move my head about, and you don't see anything different. It's not like you moving your head, you could see something different in the view that you're seeing. But today seemed like um, I was seeing something a little different, but it was so dark. So I couldn't really see that many details. And then, I opened my eyes. I couldn't really see anymore. So perhaps my new diet, my 1 meal a day diet, may be having positive results over my ability to see. I'm definitely able to, I'm seeing more. I mentioned that the last time in my vision, a couple of days ago, that what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing a lot of little things. Like you see something for like a couple of seconds, and then the scene changes, and I see something else, and then something else, and then oh, oh yes, I remember something else I saw. I saw look like a piece of paper, a regular, what, 8.5 by 11 size piece of paper, and drawn on it in rows and columns. They were all equally spaced from each other. Squares or rectangle. Um, yeah, maybe more slightly rectangled. It was wider than it was the height, but it was pretty close to a square. But maybe it was more rectangular in shape, and it had something. Oh, each little rectangular slash square was um, a little smaller than an inch, and the details inside of each of the drawings were different, and I didn't understand what they were, and I don't remember the details of it. I just knew that they were all uh, different. And what else? Oh, that's all I can remember now. But yeah, so it seems like with oh, look at the sky. The sky looks like a strawberry color, if you can tell. It has a slight pinkish hue. Strawberry pinky. Yeah, you see it? Looks very different. Yeah, nice. Hey, maybe it might be a real clear day. I might go out then. I don't know. Yeah. So that's what I saw, the vision and the diet that may be influencing what I see. The diet helps you utilize your body fat as fuel, and it gives you mental clarity. It improves it. And my stomach was growling, but I didn't, despite that it was growling yesterday, I felt okay. I felt I felt very alert, and I wasn't hungry. I see also my stomach is shrinking. Uh, when I ate last night, like I had my drink in the morning. I just had a tea, not my vitamin mix, just a regular tea with lemon. Um, and then by the end of the day, when it was time for my meal, I I didn't feel hungry. And I had these two, I had a yam and a Japanese sweet potato and 2 eggs. I was stuffed. I ate the eggs, but I could not finish I ate half of each of uh, the potatoes. Yep. So I'm gonna eat the rest of it today for dinner. But yeah, I find that I'm full. I get full faster, and yeah, but I feel okay. If if I feel weak, whatever, then you better eat. Modify. I want to work with my body, and I want to work more efficiency. So again, I'm hoping that this diet, but I'm doing the diet not because of the visions or to promote visions. I'm doing it um, to manage my weight and to weight management. So that's about it. So now, with the politics of the day with Trump, and for many of you who've been watching my videos, yes, good morning, viewer. Um, yes, you could say hello in the chat room, and please give me a like. We have two people here, but no likes on the screen. It would be really helpful because they are limiting my videos. They're not really getting my videos out, and um, by giving a thumbs up will help the algorithms. I was told. So yes. So anyway, I've been following this election thing now for many months, and I am very disappointed with it's more than just the candidate, because let's say you were running for some political office, right? What if you're running for political office? Um, I've never really been involved in politics. I couldn't care less. I'm a black woman from New York City and never really feeling a part of the system and just going through the motions. And I knew that the votes really didn't include me, government and stuff. That's how I always felt. But when Trump ran for office 4 years ago, my interest perked up because it was perked up because how people were acting, over the media. So that alone is what initially got me to check out President Donald J. Trump. I'm being honest. I said, why they can't stand the guy? Yes, his personality. He is who he is, and no one ever said anything about him really, really before. He is who he is. He's been around in New York, uh, New York scene for 40 years about, and everybody seemed to like him. Were entertained by him, and so I watched this video with this young black child. Well, he was a teenager. He had a very young face. He could have been around 14 or 15, and he was very articulate, and he was someone who was pro-Trump. And I was impressed by the viewers, the people who were pro-Trumpers at that time, and because they had content. And I like to hear content. And that's what started my interest with Trump. And I started to want to listen to him. And I did, yes, I did vote for him. See, the viewers are gone now. See, they don't like who I'm talking about. But see, that's okay, people. That's okay. See, I'm documenting also through my videos my perception of things, my living in New York City, where Trump is from. So, what happened now? So, this past year, Um, Trump was heavily campaigning, but not his counterpart. And slowly but surely, there were more restrictions happening. They were limiting people's videos, limiting them by pulling them off uh, the channels, the social media. Uh, I had a video that was pulled, the one on COVID, and they were, oops, the power is low. I have to put, I have to put the battery on. So I have to take off the earplug. Let me see. Sorry about that. Yeah, my battery's low, so I have to plug it in. Okay. Okay, just pulled the plug out, but I hope you can hear it now. Okay, I just put the plug in so to charge up my phone as I'm talking to you. Also, as I saying now, yeah, they pulled my video on the COVID. Um, they were um, targeting Trump for not wearing a mask. It was just a lot of censorship. And we had the election, and there were multiple accounts of election tampering. Uh, we had videos of people, of women uh, taking ballots that were hidden under a table and then running them through several times the same batch. There was cheating, major cheating in these states, and like Georgia. That was I'm not. I meant to. Yeah, yeah, Georgia. And there were other questionable uh, counties that were doing things that were questionable. And I see what's happening now that there is a frenzy. It's like a bunch of sharks smelling blood, and they're going for the kill. They're not backing off. And just how they're handling themselves, the his Trump's opposition um, in the U.S. Capitol. It's embarrassing. And to see that you have private industry, like what do you call it, Google. I think it was Google, Amazon, and Apple. These three major giants. Again, they're private sector, but they have a monopoly on the market. And so now, if they don't like someone's narrative, what they're doing to Trump, it's a slow kill. They pulled his Twitter account. They pulled other accounts of his, so now he cannot talk to the American public. So there's a censorship on government. He is the president of the United States of America. And so I feel by them censoring his ability to communicate with his constituents, uh, the citizens of America, and the guests that live here in America, aren't they interfering with his ability to govern, to rule? I think it's a part of. I think that's a tampering. And then I think they also blocked his PayPal or something. He has a website or some type of website of some type for like marketing, be able to sell trinkets, I guess like White House trinkets or something like that. That's blocked. So someone is limiting your speech, someone is limiting your ability to um, make money, to be seen. This is, I feel, a form of terrorism. Wouldn't you be terrorized at some point when you are completely engulfed? You cannot use your hands to defend yourself. Your hands are tied. Your legs are tied. Your mouth is taped. Your eyes are taped. Everything. If someone did that to you, and let's say you have family, how are you going to support your family? Your family's in jeopardy. Let's say because you are related to someone and they do the same thing to them. Isn't that harassment and bullying? Now, he is the President of the United States of America, and he has the right to communicate with the American people. And these days in America, a major form of communication is no longer just TV or newspaper, but social media such as YouTube, Twitter, um, and all these other social media outlets. And many people are on these media all day. Yes, hello, Fester. Trump is running us into the ground. Oh, please. Well, who's really going to be running us to the ground are the people, the media, who's censoring everybody who disagrees with them. So, if you want to talk about the virus, if um, they don't believe in your treatment plan of the condition, they will block you. But do you ever, let's see, where's that? But do you ever feel sorry for him? I feel sorry for him, yes. Yeah, oh, I thought you were trying to put him down. Okay. Yeah, Trump is running us to the, well, Trump is not running me to the ground, but they're running him to the ground. And I do feel sorry for Trump because he's been around for 40, known of him for 40 years. Um, and to do this to a man who, see, if someone works for what they have in his political office, he worked it. He went out, campaigned. He had gotten the COVID or something, and he knocked it out in 2 days. And he went on there pumping along on the trail, campaign trail. But his opponents didn't. He's a lucky man, beautiful family, and the power to move mountains. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes, he he is a an alpha male. He's an alpha male, and he works it. See, I don't have to like his personality, but I like that he is a go-getter. Biden didn't get off the pot. He just stayed at home in his bunker, and he didn't go out and campaign. There were no, you didn't see anybody rallying for him. See, they're twisting reality. See, Biden had, what's being used for Biden is Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They allow those guys and gals out and about in the city doing damage to buildings, lighting things on fire, lighting cars on fire, beating up people, wearing masks so that they can't be identified. Okay, let me just see what you just said. Okay, President Biden will end the. Yes, yes, I agree with that. Yeah, Fresh News 247. Yes, 24/7. Yes, exactly. He's dangerous. And I talked about in a brief video from yesterday, excuse me, from yesterday, that his background, because remember before he was to run for some other office in the past, and they disqualified him because he got caught his past. He plagiarized his term paper in college. He lied about his graduating class, that he was top of his class when he was more on the end of this class. And he gave a speech, but he plagiarized all of it. And I think it was a JFK speech, but he tried to pass it as his own. He was against busing, school busing, right? Remember Kamala Harris outed him, outed him, and said publicly when she was running for president that Joe Biden is a racist. Remember that? Remember that? Okay, ever done a handful of LSD and wish yourself into the body of President Trump? Nope. I wouldn't want to be in his body right now. But mine is challenging enough. But yeah, to to know how he must be feeling. Could you imagine the stress that man must be under? To have someone as a vice president, what's his name? Pence. Pence is his vice president. And he had the power, but he refused to use it to not certify those votes. He should have insisted. No, no, I'm not in the UK. I'm American. This is New York City. That's the New York City skyline. I live in New York City. How about you? Where do you live? So, yeah, so Pence had the ability to right the wrong. Uh, I'm sure he must have seen the evidence of the stealing the election. You're in the Australian outback. Okay. Welcome, Australia. Yeah, I'm right here in New York City. I'm an American, born and raised here in New York City. That's where I live right now, New York City. So, yeah, I know of Trump for like 40 years. He's been in pop culture here in New York City. Yeah, this is New York skyline. Yeah, I'm still in bed. I'm still in bed. But yeah, this is New York City. It's morning. It's about 7:33 a.m. in the morning. Let's move forward with the impeachment. Yeah, so as for the impeachment now, they wrote a draft up, and they're to do it, bring it to the floor today. This impeachment thing. So this is the second impeachment that they want to do. See, it's total This is harassment, in my opinion. Now they blamed Trump the first time with what they call collusion with Russia. But who was? See, they knew that wasn't true. It wasn't true. But but Biden was involved. Well, Biden's son, and he was collecting the money and giving it to his father, Joe Biden. So I feel that Joe Biden is disqualified to run, or shouldn't be allowed to run for president because of his involvement uh, with Russia and Ukraine, and threatening someone from. See, if it was anybody else, they would have been disqualified because they have on tape Joe Biden telling a group of people that if they don't fire this investigator from his son got caught doing something illicit with the money and Ukraine or Russia, and so it says, hey, if you don't back off, you know, something with the money. It was something, and they had him fired. Yeah. So isn't that obstruction of government? Here, his son is involved in illicit activities, real fishy activity, I should say, and then giving the money to Joe when he was the vice president of America with Obama. So it's a conflict of interest, big time, and that looks like a collusion. That is collusion. So everything that Joe seemed to be directly or indirectly with, they blame Trump for doing, when actually it was him that was in collusion. So now they want to impeach him again for what they call high crimes because of the rally that was in D.C. on January 6, 2021. And Trump gave two tweets telling the people to um, be peaceful and to respect the police officers. There were two tweets to that effect. So how could they say he was trying to encourage a riot when he says to uh, be respectful to the law enforcement, and he even told them to go home. But see, you had Antifa, and the government knew that Antifa was going to come to the rally and pretend to be Trump supporters, and they were used to break into the White House. I'm sorry, the U.S. Capitol. It was the U.S. Capitol. So why did the government not use as many police officers? So they were understaffed of police officers, knowing that it's going to be a major event. There were over 500,000 people out there. It was just a handful of troublemakers, maybe 1% of the whole group. It said about 500,000 to 1.5 million people in DC, at the rally. But just a handful of people who were stormed in. And you had videos of the police, or people who at least looked like police officers, opening the gate and asking the people to hurry up and come in. Okay, so what is that about? That is about setting up a series of events and I forget the term, but to frame Trump. The police, or whoever who they were, some of them were told to do that. Who were those people? Who were those people? And so, if you do that, then you are encouraging a riot. It's really fishy. It was a setup. So they didn't put in as many security, knowing that Antifa was going to come to the scene and impersonate Trump supporters. Uh, they took, like, see, I started watching, I stayed here in New York City, and I started watching the rally at noontime, New York time, and everything was peaceful. And then at some point you heard things that sound like a bomb. They were using flash guns, I heard. and all that other melee started happening. But overall, it was a very peaceful protest. And then it got out of hand. And it got out of hand because it was meant to get out of hand because Antifa was to come. You also have a video of a man saying that he was paid to go to the Trump rally and that he was doing the video because he felt guilty about that he was used to do this and pretty much set up Trump. You also had video of some type of government official, some type like looks something like some type of federal police car or something, and it was escorting a series of white buses. And I was told that the people in those white buses were Antifa. You had the escort, the police escort was a black vehicle, one in front and one in back, and all the white trucks and buildings. So they had an escort. So the proof, the truth, you cannot hide the truth for long. Truth always comes out. It bubbles to the surface, right? And to lie on someone, you don't have to like somebody's policy. You don't have to like them, but don't lie on people. And now for social media to be used to do a modern lynching of our president, our beloved president of the United States, who's accomplished so much for the American people. I last year I was I had so much comfort last year, early last year, making more money. Everything was positive. I was doing more. It was good, and then boom, the pandemic came in, and the pandemic was, I believe, a front for the lockdown to then censor people, and it's to really ruin our economy because the economy was so good. It was so good under my President Trump. Excellent. Blacks were doing better. Hispanics were doing better in America. Everything was pouring and everything was better. And then they twisted it. And now it's outright perversion of truth, of the media, uh, to say that someone cannot use a PayPal anymore. So they're censoring it's, what do you call it? Oh, there's a term when they do a complete embargo. I think they call it embargo. Like in some countries, there's an embargo. I mean, you cannot do trade. Nothing can come in, nothing can come out. And that's what's being done to Trump and people who are not following the narrative. So they're forcing you to believe something. And they're putting people in such a frenzy in New York City. People are bullying other people. People are bullying middle aged people. You have these young people, and they're bullying middle aged people who did not have their mask on. And then they're showing off. They get their cameras so they can do put it up on social media to try to look cool that they're harassing older people. It's really the young people now in New York City. There's no respect for the elderly. There's no respect. People are in a bullying, and with the social media censoring all of us, it gives them a false sense of strength, that they have power, that they can bully people. Yeah, New York City is heavily Democrat, and it favored Biden. But a lot of these people, they're going to suffer under Biden. There's no the commerce is is halting really bad. A lot of restaurants are closing. Some of the boroughs, the stores are closed. There was, like in Staten Island, a person opened up his business because he can't feed his family. And then they arrested him, and then they lied on him. Yeah. So it's not just Trump, it's anybody who's going against the system. They want, it's a type of, they're oppressing us. They are oppressing us big time. So they want you economically disadvantaged. They want you on the brink of starvation. They want to fear you so that you get sick. You know that fear could make someone sick? So they're doing that. People aren't dying because of COVID. People are dying because of fear, loneliness, suicide. Whatever happened to the common cold? COVID is the common cold. And what did New Yorkers do in the past when they got a cold or flu? They eat their chicken soup. Remember that? Chicken soup. Have their teas, had their herbal remedies to build up your system. That's how we dealt with it. And if you're really sick, you just stay at home in bed. But now they want to entrap you in your home so you don't get fresh air and you can get sick. People are dying from pneumonia. Pneumonia, and yes, some of them may have the COVID virus, but they're not being treated for the pneumonia, and it's the pneumonia that is killing them. They're not being treated for pneumonia. They're being treated for so-called COVID, but they're dying from the pneumonia. But if you ever tested positive for the virus, that particular virus, they would say that you died from it. So they're lying about the information. And you have YouTubers who investigate the database of, the Center of Disease Control. They have a database that's open to the public to look at the figures, and the figures are saying that there's not a pandemic. There are nations out there that you have zero deaths. It's amazing. And if you say something long enough, if you lie long enough, people will believe it. And that's what's happening. They're lying. And if you look at the data, just the data alone, I'm not talking about your feelings, but the data shows it's not a pandemic. They say one thing, but the data shows something else. And I think, wow, this is something else. See, there are reasons behind all this. There's reasons. Do you know that wearing a mask for 2 hours or more uh, produces stress on the body? It builds up CO2 in your blood, which causes a stress response in your body, and that can kill you eventually, the stress on the body. It increases the cortisol and adrenaline levels. Those are stress hormones. And that, I think, is what's exacerbating the health conditions. And they know that. Having a little child, a little 2-year-old with a mask, they need their oxygen. And no, I'm not a doctor, but this is what was said, what the mask does for prolonged periods of time. Will build up CO2 in your blood and will cause a stress response in the body. So if you already have comortalities, like you have, let's say you're a diabetic, let's say you have high blood pressure, those comortalities, conditions, will hurt you. It makes it worse. So this is the age of deception. What you see now in the White House, see, Trump isn't a part of their team. And because he couldn't be bought out, see, Biden was bought out and his whole family is bought out. Much of Congress and the senators are bought out. And it's China, not Russia. You know, they always talk about Russia, Russia, Russia. When all along it's China, China, China. And that's the Communist Chinese Party. I'm not talking about the common person of China. I'm talking about the Communist Chinese Party. And they got caught giving $400 million, why sending money to a Swiss bank, and then that person at the Swiss bank using that money to tamper with the elections, with the machines, all these things. And for the media to block that information, it makes me believe that this is a deliberate conspiracy against our government to deliberately withhold information, to push a false narrative. You're participating in someone's downfall. Yeah, this is a fake news media. And see, Trump knew that, and so now they're angry with him. Now they're punishing him. They're trying to punish him, and now they want to do the impeachment on my president, Donald J. Trump, so that he won't be able to run for office in the future. So now they're hurting his career opportunities. What if they did that to you? It could be any career. Let's say you want to go into medicine or politics or be a school teacher. What if someone did something to you to block you from um, lawful employment? And let's say it was a group effort. When it's more than one person, then it's considered a conspiracy. A conspiracy is two more people against someone and doing things to block them. And that's what's being done. That is what's being done today. And I think it's very sad. It's very, very sad because it could happen to you. It can happen to any one of us. Any one of us. So it could say, oh, you can't bank here. Your name is on a list. You can't bank here. I I um I see the seriousness of this because some years ago I was targeted. I was targeted by a bank. The bank that I banked at was bought out by another bank, and the first day I ever went to that bank, upon it being transferred over, I got targeted, and I wrote the general manager. I reported the incident, and they refused to see me. I asked in writing. Everything was done in writing. I said, I'd like to come and meet with you and for us to review the video tape to find out why they did X, Y, and Z to me. And he said, oh, well, there's no audio. I said, that's okay. We will be able to see what happened. And I want you to explain why they did that to me. And it was other things too. Yeah, this is bully time. And that incident happened to me 11 and a half years ago. I was completely stunned. And I wasn't into YouTube. I don't even think YouTube was around yet. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. I didn't have videos back then. Yeah, I didn't have that. That was in 2009. Yeah, I was completely surprised by it. So that was a long time ago. But look at now. Now they're encouraging the young people, the street people in New York City. There's a lot of street mentality people here in New York City. And they think it's cool now to be violent for the BLM and Antifa. Antifa and BLM are pro Biden. These people are used to promote Joe Biden, to intimidate Trump supporters. But see, they never say it like that. And they encourage Black Lives Matter and Antifa acts of violence. They were burning down things. They were beating up people. They were destroying property. But yet they're not called, yet Biden's not called, he never called them off. And he's not called a treasoner or high crimes. Why is that? See, it's the person, as I said, it's the person who counts the ballots decides who wins. You have people in high places who are abusing their power. So if they can do the President of the United States, just imagine what they will do to the common person, regardless of your political party. See, the Democrats here think, oh, this is, you know, catering to my needs. No, they're going to get you too. They're going to force lockdowns. They're going to force you again, even further, economic hardship. And with that economic hardship, and again, it's a lot of poor people in New York City, they're going to start bullying more. And the incident that I saw yesterday, someone was filming live stream, and these young people were bullying these two middle-aged guys. And it's clearly why they did it. And if it was reversed, they would call it the race card. Yes, so now they're making it okay to beat up or harass certain type of people if they think that you are a particular type of person. It's to give them a license to beat you up. It's very dangerous here in New York City. They're even groping women. Over the summer, I was groped by a man wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. That organization in New York City seems to cater to riffraff, to violent people, but it's under the guise of Black lives. If Black lives really mattered to Black people in New York City, they wouldn't be doing half the stuff that they're doing to themselves. I'll repeat. If Black lives really mattered to these Black people in New York City, and I am a Black woman, I am a Black woman, okay? Born in America and a veteran. If Black lives really mattered to Black people in New York City, you wouldn't be doing half the stuff you're doing. You wouldn't be pushing drugs. You wouldn't be calling each other the N word. You wouldn't be killing each other. You wouldn't be straightening your hair. You wouldn't be bleaching your skin. You wouldn't be doing these things. But you hate yourself and you abuse yourself and you abuse others. You abuse your body. You have the worst health outcome in New York City because of your lifestyle, because you don't love yourself. If Black lives really mattered, you'd be saying, hey, what could I do to stop doing what I'm doing, to stop killing, to stop doing the drugs, etc. Because Black lives doesn't matter to Black people in America. And so we're bullying ourselves. I was bullied on the train by these two young women. The train was very empty, was had a lot of seats available. They could have sat anywhere, but they came over to me. There was just one other black person on the train. Everybody else were Asian and Hispanic, and they targeted me. You have black people here in New York City targeting middle-aged black people. I was with a family member once. It could have been 2 years ago. It was it was daytime. It could have been maybe like it was in the summer, and it could have been around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It was daytime, and these two young men, we were me and this other person was just standing. I was seeing the person off to go down the to the subway, and we were saying our goodbyes, and we were approached by two men, young men. They could have been teens or in their early 20s, and they went to try to challenge the person I'm with. No words were spoken, but they walked up to him. They, they stood. Sorry about that. See that what happened? I don't know what's going on. Sorry about sorry about that. The interference there. What I was saying, in case I was cut off. Yes, me and someone who I know. Well, we were saying our goodbyes. We're on the in the middle of the sidewalk. It was one of those very big sidewalks. Plenty of room in broad daylight. Two young black men came to beat up a middle-aged person. Person was in their 50s, late 50s, and these guys could have been teenagers or in their 20s. Two against one, minding your own business. Never seen these individuals in my life. And in front of white people. This was businesses, people were going home for work at this time. Yeah, this area. So you have black people in New York City who are targeting other black people, middle age, no provocation. They are doing this. They are predating against themselves. I don't know whether it was what do you call like people who are gang members, whether they were told to start a fight with someone for street credibility. I don't know. But this has to stop, people. This violence has to stop. They're relying on you to kill yourself, killing your community off, killing your babies with through abortion. Stop the violence. The people in charge now want all of us gone. So whether they, you know, with this election thing, they might have won the battle, but not the war. Yeah, this is a war going on. Please be careful, people. Stop the violence. The power is always in the people's hands. See, this social media, who really empowers the social media? You do. When you watch the television, watch the news or the program, you empower it by your views because people give, what do you call it, commercials, and the advertisers, paid advertisers. You don't buy the product, you don't watch the show, it'll go down, right? Social media. You don't have to use that social media. You have the power to say, no, I will not participate. You use some other method of communicating to your friends or family. Remember, we still have the phone And the post office, you can write letters. You could call on a regular phone. You don't have to use all this other social media. It's to entrap you, to get you dependent on it, and then they pull it away. See, a lot of people make their money now off of social media. So now they're saying, hey, if you don't follow what we want you to talk about, we're going to pull your channel. We're going to pull your video. This is enslavement. They're letting you know that they are the new masters. Well, there's more of us than them. These monopolies. The monopolies are the new government. The monopolies are the new government. And the monopoly now is trying to overthrow our country and trying to throw out our president who won the 2020 election. And the media is covering up and deceiving and lying to the public and now encouraging his impeachment. They're now isn't when you go on trial, you have a right for to be able to defend yourself, right? Don't you have a right to defend yourself to the same degree that your accusers? But how could he when you block the newspaper, online, uh, the tweet, all social media? He's blocked from all of it and blocked to PayPal. So for him to make money. It's not fair, folks. It's not a fair fight. If they do him, they are going to do you. And that's my concern. I don't care about what your political views are. You have a right to your own political views. All of us are. But you have a right for commerce, the right to provide for your family. And now the system is oppressing us so we cannot live and support our families or ourselves. And that is my concern. And that's why I am doing this video, for us to wake up and expose the true culprits, because it's going to be you next. So yes, I'm going to wrap it up now. So the impeachment is supposed to start today. Nancy Pelosi is going to um, uh, sh- introduce the that impeachment to the floor. So they're going to, I guess, vote on it. Yes. So those of you who um, pray for him, pray for the nation, pray for the safety for all of us, to stop all violence, to stop it, and to expose evil. Yes. So pray for us, pray for me. And I thank you all for watching this live stream. I know there was someone wrote a message. Let me see what the last one. Okay. YouTubers are reading public information that isn't right. Yeah. Okay. That would have made Trump a bad guy either way. Do you agree? Oh, he's not a. Let's see. What escort? Oh, okay. What escort? Truth has a different meaning to different people. Okay, yes, very true. I'm just reading your past up statements. No, I wouldn't say that one person out of 1,000 was given money to appear. No, you know in the past with the other rallies, people you have people who advertise on this particular site. They go all over locations, and they are paid protesters. There are people who are paid to do. I never used to know this, but they got caught. People are being paid to and busting to protest, to do acts of violence. That's what's going on. And as for your question, this is Fresh News 24/7. What escort? Yeah, someone had shared a video on YouTube that you had these white buses that allegedly had the Antifa members, and there were black cars, these big vehicles, one in front and then one in the very back of this, like a convoy, and they were brought in to DC. That's what I'm talking about. Look online on YouTube. You'll find hopefully you'll find the video. Yeah, that's what's being done. And the FBI did know about um, people, Antifa going to dress as Trump supporters to get in, blend in, and then do havoc. That's what's going on. But either way, be fair, be honest. You don't like someone that, you don't want someone, lawfully, but don't lie on people. See, when you lie on people, that it can fall back on you. Let's stop lying on people. We're not acting rational. We're acting like animals. We're better than that, people. We are better than that, regardless what your party is, regardless what your race is or your religion or your nationality, your national origin. It doesn't matter. But peace matters. Truthfulness matters. And we shouldn't be punished for exposing truth. So again, I thank you for listening. Yes, so watch your social media regarding uh, this impeachment thing that's going to be initiated today, and pray for the safety for the nation. We're going to need it. So again, I thank you. Peace and love to you all. And yes, thank you again. Bye bye.